Hello, my name is Joseph Carlson, and this is episode 202 of Gaming with Grief, and I'm calling this episode, what am I calling it? How to Say Goodbye, the game, and God of War Ragnarok Early Impressions. But I want to remind you guys that this podcast will hit my website, www.gamingwithgrief.com, Monday morning at 7 a.m. So please go there. Let me know what you think of the show. You can also subscribe to the podcast in either Apple iTunes or Google Play Store or Spotify. Go to those places, subscribe to the pod, give me the comments, the likes, the shares, the reviews. You can also write to me at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. And the video goes up day and date on YouTube. So if you want to go there, subscribe, give me the comments. All the comments are live. You can tell me what you think of the show. And all kind of suggestions go there. You can also find me on Twitter at JustLittleJoe. So those are the things. Those are the places. Yeah, so this is just going to be one in the series of games that I'm doing. It's called How to Say Goodbye. It came out. Hang on, I got to look at some info I got here. It came out. It's on Steam and the Switch. I'm playing it on the Switch. It's $12.99 on both platforms, US dollars. I'm from the US. It came out on, let's see, when did it come out? It came out on November 3rd, 2022. So that's crazy. The other game I'm going to talk about also came out on November 9th, 2022, God of War Ragnarok. But anyway, let me just talk about How to Say Goodbye really quick. So this was developed by Florin Veltman, Baptiste. There's a lot of names here that just got cut off. Hang on, I'm sorry. It was done by Arte France, and it is a puzzle game where you play as, you can either insert who you want here, or you can have the game choose for you, because the game starts out with a content warning and tells you that this game has to deal with grief, compassion, and death. Basically, please be advised. And the game starts right away with you actually writing your own eulogy. So it is a piece of paper. You see a hospital bed there. You get to pick the season, your name, what the person, what they like to drink, he or she pronouns, they pronouns. And what you do is from there, you start in a hospital and you basically move the tiles. So basically the floor kind of moves. It's all part of tiles. It's like a river that snakes, and each tile moves kind of like building blocks, snakes back and forth. You basically have to hold one of the tiles, and when you pull it forward, it'll move all those tiles in a straight line, or, that are connected. You kind of have to figure out how that is, because it's a puzzle game. So you have to figure out like where the loop ends, and then you can, pull the one below it to move you down or up or whatever. Most of the early puzzles involve getting a key to unlock a door. You have to move the tiles to move the key close to you so you can grab the key, and then you go in a door. I usually don't talk about gameplay, but I like to do these impressions like this. So the game is it's fairly abstract, but what I like about it, sorry, I'm changing something. What I like about it is the fact that you have to, you basically get a mirror. It sounds like you're trying to put the main character's life back together. They don't really understand how they died. And what happens is, as you're moving through these environments, at first it's a hospital. Then you see a field with your friends talking. I know I played the demo a while ago on Steam. You actually see the car. Apparently you were in a car crash. You see the car in the background, and you see the little 3-dot, the ellipses that, like when someone's writing a text or something, you see that over people's heads. You can't select it, so you don't know what they're saying, but you know that people are talking about you, maybe before or after, maybe you're dead. I don't know. Maybe some of this is going to be a revelation later on. It is very abstract. The puzzles so far are fairly simple, but I'm sure they get more complex. I know in the demo I played, because it was part of the, I want to say the Cozy Games, or maybe I just happened upon it. It was, they were getting kind of rough. Again, I don't really mind looking at a walkthrough to get through it. I really just want to see what it says about grief. It had the content warning in the beginning, so hopefully they talk about something substantial in meeting. And again, I played several games where people don't speak. It seems like in this, people don't speak. There's no word bubbles over their head. Although the game is narrated like a children's book. It says, whatever you pick for your main character's name, it says they do not know how they got here. They're hoping that if they find answers, they can get home. And it's all text. There's no voice. And then when you hear people murmur in the background or something like that, it's just It's just like whispering and like, like little hums and things. So you don't really know what people are saying or anything like that. So I played the demo. I thought the puzzles were good. I haven't really seen the grief part yet. Not to say it isn't coming, because again, they give you a content warning in the beginning, so that's probably gonna show up sooner or later, I can imagine. So yeah, the game's only about 2.5 hours long, so this won't, it's not gonna be crazy or anything like that. I think it'll be good. Hopefully, I don't finish in the morning and start crying like a crazy amount, because that's always terrible to start your morning with just crying. That's never. Don't ever do that. That's not a good way to start your day. Anyway, yeah. But so we're gonna take a quick break, and then after that, I'll talk to you about God of War Ragnarok. Hey, I'm back. Yes. What a long break. I'm still wearing the same shirt. Anyway, so God of War Ragnarok, I played it for probably 10 hours so far. And I gotta say, uh, I said in episode, what was it? A few episodes ago, well, it was probably episode 200. I've said it several times, so it's hard to keep it straight sometimes. But episode 200, I really talked about this thing of not grief isn't always just people dying. Sometimes it is divorce, friends breaking up, people growing apart. And what I'm seeing so far in God of War Ragnarok really exemplifies that. Again, this is not a spoiler cast. We haven't gotten that far. But from what I can see, and I think everybody can, well, most people can identify this if you've had parents or either had a parental figure in your life. The idea when you get older and start to pull away is pretty amazing. But let me get into the actual logistic information of the game, since I got that up, and I might as well tell you. It was developed by Sony Santa Monica. It's a Sony PlayStation exclusive. It came out on the PS4 and the PS5. Came out on November 9th, 2022. So a few days after How to Say Goodbye came out. Eric Williams, Cory Balrog are the directors. Cory Balrog directed the first game, God of War, 2018's God of War, and now Ragnarok is here. And yeah, and basically, if you played the first game, then it's a third-person action game. You have the Leviathan axe. You also have Atreus's bow that you use. You solve puzzles. You beat up enemies. There is, you find treasure and things like that. There's rooms to explore. There's puzzles to find. I know a lot of people, and a lot of the things I read about it, there was a lot of complaints about, you know, people telling you over and over again, like what to look for and what to do. And like, there's a little bit of that here, meaning that when you go into a room with a puzzle, someone is always yelling at you, like, look over here, look over there. And it happens immediately. And I've found that to be true when I played. Some people, it just seems to be a random thing. Some people don't experience it or don't notice it. Other people do. And I got to say, for my taste, it did happen quite a bit. But I think what's interesting in this game was, the first game, spoilers, is, you with Atreus and his father Atreus really coming to the grips that he's part God, right? And I think with this, he's a little bit older, but he's still a teenager. So Atreus is still very hot blooded. And it seems like so far that Kratos is kind of in hiding. He wants to be left alone. Freya is obviously after them after the end of the first game. You can listen to my spoiler cast on that. But Freya is after them. And it seems like Kratos kind of just wants to lie low for a bit. But Ragnarok is upon them. There's the long winter, Thimble Winter, I believe it's called. The long winter is after them, or basically upon them. And Freya is desperately chasing them, right? So I think they're in a place, they have wards up so they can kind of stay in this in their home hidden. But Atreus sees like a vision of Ragnarok and wants to do something about it. And I think this is kind of where the tension of the games, of course, there's other things that happen that I'll get into in the spoiler cast. But this is like between the two of them where the tension comes from. And again, I think we've all kind of experienced that if you have a father figure or a parent in general, where you want to go one way and your parent wants to go the other, or your parent wants something for you and you don't want that for yourself. There's tension in that, and I think I heard a little bit of a spoiler for where the story is going, but the idea that two people can want two separate things. In fact, where I am in the game, there was a scene where Atreus and Kratos have like this tension's kind of been building, and finally they say to each other, Atreus is like, "We need to do this. I know you don't believe in prophecy and all this stuff, but we need to do this." And why don't you believe any of this? And Kratos basically says, I don't believe in any of it, but I believe in you, and that's why I'm here. And so it's important to you, but I still don't want to be involved. And it seems like he's trying to pull himself out. In fact, they go to save Tyr. It's kind of in the promotional material, the Norse god of war. And I like how they presented Tyr as kind of like reluctant. He's obviously suffering from PTSD. He doesn't want to fight anymore. I think that's very fascinating for a god of war to kind of be done with everything, like just the weight of the wars that he's fought are on his shoulders. And I really like that. And I hope this tension between Atreus and Kratos just kind of builds and builds. I'm looking forward to see it. Obviously Atreus is still kind of coming into his power a bit. He doesn't really, he doesn't really know how to control anything. And that's also the tension between him and Kratos, that like Kratos is kind of seeing some things about Atreus's future, spoilers for God of War 2018. Atreus has another name. I won't give that away here, but he has another name, and Kratos believes this is intricately tied to Ragnarok. And I think what it is honestly, as a parent, you want to keep your child safe, obviously. And he's like, well, we don't want any part of this, because if we don't do this or do anything, then we don't have to worry about it. But Atreus is like, this is going to come on our doorsteps, whether we like it or not. At least that's what I'm getting from the other impressions. So again, I hope to see that blossom and flourish more. I'm really looking forward to these two games. How to Say Goodbye, like I said, I think I saw it a few years ago on it was either like a Cozy Fest or Wholesome Games Done Quick, or maybe it was just an ad on Steam. It might have been that they were promoting stuff because they have the summer of demos or whatever. And I played the demo and I was like, oh, How to Say Goodbye. How direct of a title could you have? And it was about what I thought it was about, death, dying. I thought it was very good. So I'm hoping that it continues down that route. And although it's abstract, I hope that it nails the landing in the end and kind of comes up with everything for grief. And Ragnarok, if it isn't about death or dying, there's a lot of, I haven't listened to any spoiler chats. Obviously, I'm going into it fresh. But, there was a lot of talk of if Kratos is going to die, if Atreus is going to die, who's going to die, how that's going to affect him. But I don't think that's the point of this game. I think really with God of War Ragnarok, I think the point is this idea of coming to terms with the person that you become and being confident in that, to present with a parent or a parent figure and say, I have to go my own way, and hopefully them respecting you a bit, which I think if they do that, that's pretty amazing. Not a lot of games are able to pull that off. So I'm really looking forward to going on the journey. I guess if you're listening, you're more than welcome to play along. Next week, I'll do a deep dive into the themes. I'll play a little bit more of How to Say Goodbye, do a deep dive into the themes that I think it's trying to bring up, and hopefully, does it nail the, will it nail the landing? And then I'll do the spoiler cast and we'll talk about yay or nay, did it hit or not? So, that's it this week. Enjoy. Remember, you can find this on gamingwithgrief.com Monday morning at 7 a.m. Please go there. Let me know what you think of the show. You can write a comment below, or if there's a game you want to review, you can throw it there. You can also subscribe to the podcast on either Apple iTunes, or Google Play Store, or Spotify. Go to those places. Give me the likes, the stars, all that kind of stuff. That really helps out. You can also write to me at gwgpodfellows@gmail.com. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the show. If there's a game you want to review, leave it there. If there's something that you disagree with that I'm talking about, leave it there. I'm totally fine with you leaving a comment. Anybody leaving a comment. Also, the video goes up day and date Monday morning at 7 a.m. on YouTube, just like it hits podcast services. So please go there. Let me know what you think of the show. Leave a comment in the YouTube video. Subscribe to the channel. I've grown a few subscribers. I don't have that many, but hopefully this just goes up and up. I have some screens coming for the back. As you can see, my office is about 100 years old that I don't think is worth fixing. I have some screens not only to help with sound, but you don't have to look at this. This is a mess back here. It's clean. It's just, aesthetically a mess, but I don't care because I don't. It doesn't matter anyway. That's coming, so you see an improvement there. But everybody have a good week, and I will talk to everybody next week. So goodbye, everybody.